Hello, builders. We're here at the time of the week that you have been working towards. We are at the judges' feedback. Builders, before we reveal the results for week 6, let's take a moment to recognize the amazing panel of judges who reviewed your museum exhibits builds. This week's judges brought an incredible mix of experience from Hollywood, Lego Masters, public leadership, creative storytelling, and youth perspective. Please help me welcome our week 6 judges. First, we have Riaz Patel, an Emmy-nominated producer and director from Hollywood, with a career spanning television, documentaries, and Broadway. Riaz is an expert in storytelling, emotional design, and visual communication, and he evaluated your builds with a focus on clarity of story, creativity, and presentation. We are thrilled to have him lending his experience to your work. Next, joining us is Corey Samuels, an OG from LEGO Masters US Season 1 and LEGO Masters Bricktacular Special. Corey's an amazing builder known for his technical skill, creativity, passion for kids in the LEGO community, and his ability to build under pressure on national television. He understands exactly what it takes to perform in competitive builds like this and what makes a great LEGO model stand out. We're also honored to have Vincent Brooks from the very first season of LEGO Masters Juniors US. Vincent is a peer, just 12 years old, and he has just come through a very similar experience to what you're going through right now. Building with a partner, under a time limitation, with restricted parts, and in front of cameras. His perspective is especially important because he knows how it feels to be you in this moment. And finally, we welcome Pat Ford, former mayor of Pulaski. Pat has no LEGO experience, but what he does have is a deep love for his community and a passion for supporting young people as they grow into their talents and strengths. He judged with a heart of community in mind, looking at efforts, teamwork, creativity, and the inspiration your builds bring to Pulaski. This week, your builds were judged as one unified project per team, not as two separate halves. We were looking at how well your ideas connected, how thoughtfully you collaborated, and how seamlessly your sides came together into one cohesive museum experience. For those moving forward, remember, every detail matters. Everything you do or don't do affects your score. The expectations rise each week, and we know you're ready for it.
Hello, my name is Riaz Patel. I'm a director and a producer in Hollywood. I've produced a lot of shows on TV and on Broadway. I've produced about $100 million worth of shows. I've been nominated for 2 Emmy Awards. And so have a long career in telling stories through different mediums. I loved what you did, all of you. I think what was so clever, was hard but clever, was not just to show the museum, but to show the experience of the spectators, the people visiting the museum. So you had 2 things going on. That's hard to achieve. I thought the builds were really clever. I thought your storytelling was very solid, and that's what I'm most drawn to, is really good storytelling. Each museum was clearly defined, you had a vision for the museum, and you expressed it really, really well. So I was super impressed by that. I think the trick, as you move forward and you start getting better about these builds, is the hardest part, I think, about creating stories is what we call editing. That when you finish, what do you take out? Because if you have all of your ideas in there, sometimes it can look a little busy and it can be a little too much and the eye doesn't know where to go. The hardest thing when I'm taping a show or creating a stage show is I have lots of ideas that I love, but I have to step back and figure out which ideas are really important and which ideas, as sad as it is, I need to take away so that I can have the audience focus on a few good ideas. I think some of the builds had a lot going on, which was a little hard to understand. And also stepping back, is there a cohesive look to the whole thing? You have 2 parts to each museum. When you step back, can you look and see, oh yes, this is one museum. This is one museum with 2 parts. When you step back, did it look like the story of both sides matched together? Did it really look like one museum? And that, I think, was a tricky part, because sometimes you had one room that was fuller than the other. Stepping back, do they look balanced? So I think editing is important and overall balance is important. Now, I know one of you will not be moving on, and that's always hard, But I will tell you, as someone who has made their career in entertainment and storytelling, I have learned so much more when things did not go my way than when things did. That's where you really learn about yourself, you make improvements, and you get better. So I really want to say I was impressed by all of your work. Thank you for inviting me into your museums, and I wish you a lot of luck moving forward. Happy holidays, by the way.
Hey builders, how you doing? It's me, Corey Samuels. I was on season 1 of Lego Masters and on the Bricktacular special that aired last year. And spoiler alert, if you didn't know, I won that special. I was given the huge opportunity to actually look at some of the models that you guys have done. And I gotta say, I'm blown away. Not only do you guys have to build something on a constraint base plate, meaning you can't go over that size, you can't go under that size, you got to utilize that size very well. That is incredibly difficult to do. And I think each and every one of you nailed the project. From the different museums of vehicles that are hanging from different areas to the big Santa Claus museum, the holiday museum, I was enthralled by all of the stories. I love the little storytelling that I saw in some of the builds. There's like little models where the minifigs are doing certain things. Absolutely nailed it. I think this was one of the best displays of a museum that I've ever seen, and I am so happy that each and every one of you took the time to do the work. I think it is incredibly hard to judge this because each and every one of you did a great job. So what I'm going to encourage you to do is to listen to the feedback from all the judges and then take that feedback and just improve upon what you've already been doing. Each and every one of you are going in the right direction. So that's what you want to make sure you're doing, going in the right direction, okay? That doesn't mean that you didn't meet the bar. That doesn't mean that you didn't hit the mark. That just means that you need to polish a little bit. You know, on season 1, when I was on, me and my brother, we didn't win. We didn't get all the way to the finale. So there was something that we needed to change, something that we needed to polish, especially myself. I had to polish my skills. I had to get better in what I was doing. And by all results, I was able to do that and win the holiday special to become a Lego Master. So it is not the end of the road if you don't go further. It's just the beginning. So I encourage each and every one of you to keep building, keep inspiring, keep being creative, and keep working on your craft. Do what makes you feel good. That's what Lego is all about. So have fun. I can't wait to see who moves on. I can't wait to see what's next for you guys. Until then, bye-bye.
Hey guys, my name is Vincent, and I was on the first season of Lego Masters Junior with my Taekwondo bro Hudson. The show was very awesome, and I met a lot of great friends, and it was just an awesome experience being on the show. You might be wondering what I'm wearing, because these aren't your normal clothes. I do Taekwondo, and I have my first degree black belt. It took me 4 years to get it, and I got it when I was 11. You all did very good museum exhibits, and I wish I could visit them all. They were all super awesome. I know it's like building under a time limit, and it's super stressful, but you just gotta keep building and not lose your cool. I know what it's like to be eliminated, so for those of you who get eliminated, just keep building. I didn't stop after I got eliminated. I wanted to get better and better. So you guys keep building, and I hope you make it.
Hey guys, I'm Pat Ford, former mayor of the city of Pulaski, currently doing business development at First National Bank. So happy to be here and judge the Lego competition. It was incredible. And let me say on the front end, I have zero experience when it comes to Legos. I did not build with Legos as a child or as an adult, and but I will tell you, I've got a newfound interest here, so I'm very intrigued. Some amazing builds I've judged today. These all of the competitors did a great job. The detail was incredible. It really was. I love just the little small. I really dug in and I even stuck my head down in here to see exactly what some of these details were. So incredible. You guys did such a great job. I'm so proud of what y'all done. And just want to encourage you to keep going. I know that somebody will drop out of the competition after this week, but hey, keep going because you guys have some incredible talent, and I'm super proud of you. So keep doing what you're doing and keep doing those builds, and I look forward to seeing what you guys do in the future.
Hello, this is my feedback for the Historical Auto Aviation Museum. I loved how you went from the past to the future. I thought that was really well done. I loved how clean it was. I loved the little railings around each exhibit. It really felt like a museum. I think the only thing I would have done to adjust it is made the flags the same. If you didn't have enough of the certain shade of blue, maybe use blue and white as the stars, only choose one shade of blue, and then add the white stars with white, and do that exactly the same in both sides. I thought that would have made it very, very clean, because on one side you have the past, one side you have the future, and I thought having that exact same flag backdrop on both sides would have united it in a very, very clean way. I loved your crop duster. I thought the detail was great in so many of the specific, in so many vehicles, and I thought it was excellent work.
3A, great job in displaying those vehicles. The American flag in the background with the white base plate or the white flooring, excellent touch. It gives me a chance to take a look at the different vehicles and not get distracted with what's going on underneath it. The background is perfectly placed, so I'm not distracted by the flags. I'm more focusing on the different vehicles you have on display. Great job.
This is my feedback for the amazing Museum of Middle Ages. I loved what you did with the detail. I thought there was so much detail in the exhibits that was really, really clever, and you really felt that you were going back in history. My only feedback would be is that there's a lot going on in one side. On one side, there's a lot of spectators. On the other side, there isn't as many. On one side, there was a striped floor that wasn't there on the other, that it felt almost like two different museums. If there was a way to unite them more, whether it was balancing the number of spectators so it was the same on both, making the floor even, I felt that would have united the two sides of the museum in a really cohesive way. But I really appreciated the level of detail in it, and I think to do historical Legos is hard, and you did a really good job.
4A, thank you for bringing me to the Middle Ages. I think you did a great job in displaying that. Perfect rendition of these different scenes between the two exhibits. Also, I love the pop of color. So the green and the blue that you have there, perfectly placed. All right, you don't want the museum to just look like a museum. You want to take me back into those middle-aged times. You want to transport me into another time. And I think you designed that and you created that very well. Excellent touch.
This is my feedback for the Great American History Museum. I loved what you did. I thought the floor on the one side, the pattern floor, was beautiful. I thought the wall covering in that same floor, the little piece of art, the circular one, was actually with circles, but it was square, was beautiful. I really, really loved that side. And I thought the spilling of the drink was so clever. And you told the story not just of the museum, but of the people in the museum. I loved that. The other side felt very different and a little bit sparse, that I thought either we should take more spectators from one side to the other, or maybe have something unifying it. It could have been the floor or some mural, something that to connect the two sides together. Because when you go to a museum, even though you go to different exhibits in different halls, there's always something that connects the museum together. And I thought that central thread that visually connected the two sides could have made it a much more cohesive museum, all in one sort of holistic, beautiful museum.
6A, I love the fact you use minifigs to tell the story. One thing I love about minifigs, they can tell a great story. I love the placement of the minifigs. I love the fact that you have the janitor that's cleaning up the mess. You have a minifig that's kind of walking a dog and stuff like that. I love it. It's a great way to tell a story. It's a great way to bring it all together. And that's exactly what you did. You brought it all together. I think you did an amazing job. Great job with those minifigs.
This is my feedback for the Transportation Museum of Tennessee. I loved what you did. I thought what was good about what you did, that was special to what you did, is although the two rooms were very different, you felt the connection between the two rooms as being part of the same museum because of the floor and the borders, that I felt even though each room was a different experience, I knew I was in one complete museum. I loved the clouds on the wall. I loved that mural. I thought that was so clever. I loved the tires that were on the other wall. I really thought that you had a good balance of interaction between the spectators of the museum and the museum exhibits. You told two stories. Obviously the museum exhibits, but then the people enjoying and interacting with it. I thought you did a really, really good job.
8A, thank you for transporting me to your transportation museum. I love the different transportation vehicles that you use. I love the fact that you have one that's in the air floating. That's a very nice touch. You want to be able to show the different vehicles doing exactly what they're intended to do. If I see a plane, I don't want to see that plane on the ground. I want to see it suspended in the air. If I see a car, I would like to see that on the ground. So I think you nailed it when it came to creating that. Great job all around.
This is my feedback for the Holiday Museum. I love the idea of showing different holidays around the world. I thought that was really, really clever because we sometimes think of holidays only being one thing for us, but you showed that they're different for other people. I loved the detail of the Christmas side. I thought that was really, really beautiful, and I loved the light up part of the Chinese side. The only thing I think could have made it stronger is if there was more balance between the two sides. The height of the Christmas side was much, much higher than the other. They almost looked like two different museums. And I think if you'd step back and balance them a bit more, whether it was the height of the walls, just somehow making it seem more connected, as if it was one museum, even with two exhibits, but one museum, I think that balance would have helped overall to tell the story better. But I really thought you did a very good job of showing people how things feel and can be experienced in different cultures, in different lands, and I loved that.
27A, that holiday museum. Oh my goodness. When I talk about a holiday, I'm looking for vibrant colors. I'm looking for things that takes me back to the holidays. I love the fact you got the Santa belt in the front. I love the colors, the blue in the background. You're using vibrant colors as a way to tell your story, as a way to show your holidays. And not only did you choose one holiday that we know, you chose a holiday that other people in other countries know. Excellent work in bringing those two together.
Builders, thank you again for your hard work, creativity, and dedication. You impressed a world-class panel of judges, and that is something to be proud of. Now, let's find out who continues on to the semifinals.